Ladies and gentlemen, we have a situation in Mini. Or maybe I'm just making a mountain out of a molehill. I don't know, both things can be true. But as you're seeing on the screen right here, Quinn Hughes of the Minnesota Wild now has a letter on his jersey. A conversation that was sparked up because of yesterday's Wild news that Kirill Kaprizov would not end up playing against the Blackhawks. It's nothing to be worried about. According to Michael Russo, Kaprizov skated yesterday morning and was in the locker room after, so his absence from yesterday's game, not likely serious. However, there were some questions as to what happens with the captaincies, the alternate captaincies. And Michael Russo responded to the discourse by giving us the answer. Zuccarello is getting an A for Eriksson Ek, and Quinn Hughes is getting an A for Kirill Kaprizov. Now, normally that would not be seen as that big of a deal. Okay, a guy's gone out there and he's got a letter on his sweater. Quinn Hughes had a C before. But it gets more interesting when you look at how some Wild fans are responding to this update. Take a look at what JJ148151 number 1 Joel Eriksson Ek fan went out there and said on Twitter. Quinn Hughes wearing the A when Jonas Brodin has played 900 games with the Wild? My eye is twitching. Oh, playing 900 games doesn't mean he deserves it. My brother in Christ, what leadership qualities has Quinn showed with the Wild? He literally went on a late-night show twice and left the team. How is that showing leadership? Now, for the Quinn Hughes defenders out there, I will say, this guy literally was a captain in the National Hockey League before. He was the captain for, 2.5 seasons, essentially? So obviously, there is a proven track record of Quinn Hughes having a letter. That is established. However, I will also go out there and say that for the average Vancouver Canucks fan, you can very well say that Quinn Hughes' leadership profile in Vancouver, just based off of what we saw as fans, was questionable at best and non-existent at worst. Again, I say this as a fan. I'm not in the locker room. I'm not going out there talking to Quinn Hughes personally. These 2.5 years that Quinn Hughes was in Vancouver's locker room as the captain, I know nothing about it. I'm not there. I don't know these people. I'm not going to pretend to know these people. I'm just going to react to what we saw. And what we saw was Quinn Hughes captaining the Vancouver Canucks to a very strong playoff run where they ended up making Game 7 of the second round against Edmonton. They had a really good outlook on that season. But the next 2 years or so were just so different. Quinn Hughes was not able to handle the Elias Pettersson-JT Miller feud all too well. When asked about the future of him and his career, he would never, ever say anything about how he liked Vancouver or that he was in Vancouver. He always just said, I'm focused on my game. And then, immediately upon being acquired by Minnesota, he went out there in the media and said, yeah, no, I could actually see myself signing here. It's pretty cool in Minnesota. I like it. And he looked all happy-go-lucky and left a lot of Canucks fans' opinions about this guy down in the dust. Let's go out there and read some of the other replies to this initial tweet, talking about how Quinn Hughes has the A and how Jonas Brodin has played 900 games with the Wild and he didn't have an A. Maybe they're just rotating for a game? I know it's because Kaprizov is out, but it should have gone to a different player who had been here longer. Have you ever considered that Bill Guerin loves Quinn Hughes like a son? Let's use our critical thinking skills for a minute to consider why the Wild did this. JJK fan goes out there and says, but he doesn't deserve it. You should have to earn the A, not have it given to you because you won't re-sign without it. It shouldn't be a bargaining chip. Now, you know what? That's so funny. Imagine a hockey team with Quinn Hughes on the roster, giving Quinn Hughes a letter on his jersey as a bargaining plea to help him decide to stay. Oh, I would not be surprised if that absolutely was the case here with Minnesota. It's not like we haven't seen it before. Let's go out there and look at what the folks on the subreddit are going out there and saying, because the flavor on our Wild Hockey is a little bit different, but not entirely. Top reply said that, hey, I thought that Quinn Hughes would have been behind Boldy and Faber in the queue. Another reply says it's largely because of just how they're feeling that day. I recall Zach Bogosian wore it for a game. They did the same for Goose before. It's partially because the Wild have like 20 captain-level guys, and the only ones not on that list are the goalies due to the rules. Previously wearing the captaincy probably fast-tracks you for everyone wondering, damn, sorry, Jonas Brodin. Then you go out there and take a look at some of these over here. Aside from expansion teams, who are the fastest to an A or C on their teams? Seems kind of like a slap in the face towards a few guys who have been around. Not that they probably even give a damn. And I'm not taking anything away from Quinn Hughes, of course. Messier took the C on a new team right away when he went to Vancouver, and went on to become the most hated player in the team's 50-plus year history. Hughes is not a good leader, for your information. The whole Pettersson-Miller thing spiraled under his captaincy. He captained a Canadian team for a couple of years. Another comment says he has experience being the guy to communicate with. It makes sense. Although I will say, just because he had that experience on paper, in my opinion, it doesn't fully make me believe that he is the right choice as that guy. I think, based off of what Vancouver saw out of captains like Linden and Henrik, and maybe to a 75% extent Bo Horvat, there's a certain standard that I think Canucks fans of one of the hottest Canadian markets in hockey, hot not because the team is good, but because the fan base is just passionate, there's a certain level of maturity and responsibility that I think a lot of Canucks fans have come to expect from their captains. And while I'm not saying that Quinn Hughes didn't live up to that on the ice, in regards to media interviews and overall team results, there just wasn't much to like out of Quinn Hughes' captaincy of this team. And now, reputation, it's a pretty big thing. It's going to go out there and give him the right to take the alternate captaincy away from guys like Jonas Brodin, Brock Faber, Matt Boldy even. I mean, this is definitely an intriguing conversation and one that I wanted to have here on the YouTube channel. So you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Is this actually worth talking about? Quinn Hughes, quote-unquote, stealing the alternate captaincy from other guys on the team. I know it might not be seen as that big of an issue, but as a Vancouver Canucks fan who saw this guy as the captain of my favorite hockey team for years, a guy who I honestly said was my favorite player in the National Hockey League for a good number of years as well. With all this being put in the forefront, I do kind of question whether or not this is the right choice. And you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section, whether or not you think it is or is not the choice to be made. Thoughts in the comment section about Quinn Hughes getting the alternate captaincy in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this Swedish Roll 9, and bye.